What's going on, everybody? Yes, I'm about to reveal the movie MaXXXine. Yes, MaXXXine. I couldn't wait for this movie all year. I've been waiting on this. I was like, yes, we got another one. And like I said, this is a horror slash suspense movie, and this is an hour and 40 minutes. And like I said, I like Mia Goth. I put her as like she's in my top five for the best actress. She's that good. And I like her in Pearl. Pearl was a classic to me. Pearl and Infinity Pool. She's a great actress, and I said yes, I'm gonna put her in my top five. So yep. In the 1980s, Hollywood adult film star and aspiring actress Maxine finally gets her big break. However, as a mysterious killer stalks the streets of Los Angeles, a trail of blood threatens to reveal her sinister past. And of course, the director of this movie is Ty West. He's a great director. I like him as a director, but I don't like the direction he took in this film right here. Like I said, Maxine is part of the trilogy of Pearl and X. So I'm gonna tell you right now, you need to watch Pearl and X to understand this movie, Maxine. Because if you don't watch Pearl and X, then you will be lost watching this. So I'm gonna tell you, watch Pearl first. Even though X came out before Pearl, watch Pearl first because that's the prequel of X. So you watch Pearl, then after you watch Pearl, then watch X, then watch Maxine. Then you get the understanding of this film. And I'm gonna let you know Maxine is the weakest out of this trilogy. I think Pearl is the best out of this because Pearl is a masterpiece to me. I like that movie, and yeah, this could have did a lot better. And hey, check out my movie review on Pearl that I did 2 years ago. I gave that a 9 out of 10. So yeah, I'm not gonna go over every cast member because there's a lot of cast members in this movie, but the ones that stood out to me, and of course, you know my favorite, Mia Goth. She played Maxine, and she had an incredible performance in this film. She's going to be a strong force in this movie industry. I'm telling you, she is going to be a strong force. She did a great job playing her character. I expected a little bit more aggression and grit in her character, but it's okay because Mia Goth is a talented actress. She just, they just gave her what she can work with, and I think she pulled it off pretty decent, and she did a great job. Next cast member is Elizabeth Debicki. I think she did a great job actually. She only been in this movie for about probably like the middle of the movie and a little bit of the end. I kind of wish to see her more. I saw some of her movies before and she's a great actress. And she did a great job. She played the director in this movie, directing on set for Maxine. And I like how I like her character. She did a great job. Then we have Moses Sumney. I think for the small role that he had, this brother did a great job. He played the employee of a video store in this movie, and he was like a close friend of Maxine. And in these horror movies, the black guy always died first. But thank God he kind of let him get his little shine on in this movie. He had a decent screen time in here, so he did a great job with his part. And last but not least, we have Kevin Bacon. Yes, Kevin Bacon. He's a legend in this movie industry. He did a phenomenal job in this movie. Phenomenal job. He played the private investigator in here. I like his role. Some people said he was over the top, but I like it. I like how he did in this film. And I tell you, Mia Goth and Kevin Bacon, they really saved this movie. They even though I didn't like the direction of it, they saved the movie. They was the best performances in here. Mia Goth and Kevin Bacon. Great job to them. Now I'm gonna go over the likes in this film. I like the nostalgic feel of the 1980s. It makes you feel like you're walking around in the 1980s. I love the cinematography. This was very cinematic. I love the 80s soundtrack. I love 80s music. The visuals were captivating. And this was top tier production by Ty West. It gives you that classic 80s slasher feel. I love how they displayed the lifestyle of the 1980s. Like you said, you have the events that they showed the events that were going on in the 1980s, like some of them. And you can see the clothes they were wearing, the cars they were driving, the restaurants, the stores. So it gives you that 80s feel of what was going on. I like that. And yeah, it gives you that 80s charm. And stylistically, this was good. And I got to go over the dislikes. I did have some dislikes in this movie. What really pissed me off was the lack of horror and thriller in this movie. I was not expecting it to be like the way it was. I was expecting a lot of horror and thriller in this film. This movie started off good actually. Like the first part of the movie, I'm like, cool, we getting somewhere. I like what's going on. It started to have some intensity going on. So I'm like, okay, kind of kept me on the edge of my seat a little bit in the beginning. Then in the middle, it was just The middle of the movie was just okay. So I'm like, it's like, all right, whatever. Then when it came to the last part of the movie, the ending, the third act, that was horrible. The third act was horrible. I didn't like the third act at all in this movie. Especially when they revealed the killer. When they revealed the killer at the end, I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed. I was like, wow. Just by watching MaXXXine, I felt like I was watching a crime drama slash mystery movie instead of a horror slasher film. You know what I mean? I mean, they had a few scenes where they did have gore. I give them they little credit. They had a few decent scenes in here, and I say the setup was nice. Now it did have elements of a horror movie, but at the same time, there barely wasn't any horror in here. So yeah, what this movie really failed on, they should have made this movie more about MaXXXine, more about her character. The movie to me was all over the place, and I understand. See, the thing about it is they made it where they was talking about the Night Stalker, which this was an incident that really happened in the '80s. A Night Stalker was going around in Los Angeles, but still, you're talking about the Night Stalker, then then they're talking about this mystery person that's after MaXXXine. Then they're talking about other miscellaneous things that's happening in the movie that we can care less about. So they need to make this movie would have been a lot better if they made majority of the movie based on MaXXXine. I mean, focus on MaXXXine more than anybody else, and that's where they failed at in this film. Man, they had a great opportunity to make this movie so great, but they dropped the ball on this. Now, if I was director of this movie, I would have made this the best horror movie of 2024 because I would have had MaXXXine being the main killer. Bottom line, I wouldn't have had nobody else involved. MaXXXine would have been the main killer, and I would have had her going to auditions during this movie. I know I would have had her going to auditions because she was trying to be an aspiring actress and she was trying to get out the adult industry. So I just would have had her going to auditions, then killing the actress that beat her to the auditions. You know what I mean? If she didn't get the part, then I would have had her go after the people that got the part. So she would have been slashing them up. Then, I just would have had her just doing that, killing all through the movie. Then at the end of the movie, she finally gets this big major role. Then all of a sudden the cops and the detectives are after her. Then that just derails her career. I would have had something to that extent. I would have just had her slashing all through this movie. And she's just, jealous and killing other actress that got the part before her. I would have just kept it just that. I would have kept it just like Pearl, but more intense than Pearl. You know what I mean? All this other stuff they had in here where they going after the Night Stalker and other people coming after her, and I would have just had her basically the only one. I would have had her the main force and had her killing all through this movie only. And that would have made this a very intense thriller, horror, slasher movie. I'm telling you, let me control it. I don't get it. What's so hard about giving us a classic horror film? Please give us a classic horror film next time. I was hoping for this movie to be good because I was like, yes, finally MaXXXine is coming out. This is going to be a 10 out of 10. I was expecting this to be a 10 out of 10. And this is a letdown. This is like when I was watching Bike Riders, that movie Bike Riders. I was a letdown because you're expecting something to be great. Then when you watch it, it's like, what the hell? They just completely dropped the ball on this. So yeah. So like I said, now I'm not saying this is a bad movie. If you want to go see it, go see it. It's not a bad movie at all. It's just something that I was expecting more of. You know what I mean? This was a solid movie, but it really disappointed me though. When I left the theater, I was disappointed. So I'm gonna give this movie a 5 out of 10. So it's gonna be half and half with that. Yeah, this movie is gonna be a 5 out of 10. Yes, in my next movie review, I'm going to watch this week. The movie I'm about to watch this week is called Long Legs. Long Legs. I was looking at the trailer and I was like, man, this might be a pretty decent horror movie. It's like one of those movies where it's a serial killer going around. So it might be a decent movie. I hope that's good now. So yep, I hope you enjoyed this movie review. Leave some comments in the section if you like. Hit the subscribe button. Hey, and I'll see y'all next time. All right, I'm out.